The use of VR has many positive impacts on the educational system. It can be proven that the introduction of VR within the classroom setting has multiple benefits, including increased engagement for the students, increased student and creativity and individuality, as well as higher level mastery on the learning objectives. Although virtual reality has been around since the late 1970s and early 1980s, it is still classified as a very new, relevant, and emerging technology. As seen in these images, VR has came a long way since its conception during that time period. VR can be defined as a computer technology used to create a simulated environment. This can take many different forms, such as head mounts or VR spaces that are built in within the online platform. When introduced to the field of education, it can have many real-world benefits within the student learning process, including real-world learning, experiential learning, and hands-on constructivism, which allow the students to interact with the material in a first-person setting. One example of this can be seen in what we call the virtual playground, in which 50 students from ages 8 to 12 took place to learn math in a cave-like system. The study showed that the VR learning within the environment not only helped to achieve higher outcomes, but it also made learning more enjoyable for the students. Another example of this is seen in Loyalist Canada College. They created a training system for up-and-coming Border Patrol women. When using the simulated space, the average score was 28% higher than the previous class who did not use Second Life. As seen in the medical field, VR can be used to help train medical personnel as well as surgeons in a hands-on approach without an actual patient. This makes a safe learning environment for all involved, as well as highly trained professionals. In terms of student engagement, there's been many case studies conducted on the impacts that VR has on student engagement. These studies are conducted throughout all age levels. One popular way to increase student engagement and retention of information is by using immersive interfaces such as real worlds, gaming, or simulations. By doing so, students are retaining the information by playing games, and they don't necessarily interpret it as learning in the moment. VR is not exclusively head mounts. I know that many districts with budgetary needs can't necessarily afford head mounts. However, they can take full advantage of many online platforms such as AltSpace, Rec Room, Mozilla Hubs, and many, many more. These are mostly primarily free and accessible online without downloads. One example is seen in the case study of the upper level ecology class project, in which the students had to complete their presentations online due to COVID pandemic. The students used Mozilla Hubs. The students not only scored higher, but they also enjoyed this version of presentation much more than in person. Virtual reality can also be used as a pro-social interaction tool. In the era of COVID-19, a big struggle that we're going to have to address as educators is resocialization, and this can take place in many alternative spaces and virtual spaces online as well. The use of virtual reality within the classroom does not only help the student engage, but it also helps them to foster a greater level of individuality and creativity. In the era where education is very structured, this can help relight that fire within the students' individual needs. Another example of how implementing VR can help teens develop their own identity is seen in the avatar. An avatar can be created and changed based on the moods of the feelings of the creator. This allows the person to live vicariously through their character. The ability to create one's own character and avatar allows for openness and inclusivity among students in the VR world. The ecology class showed that as students were presenting as avatars, they were more comfortable communicating with peers and instructors opposed to a camera. Other higher level of student engagement, creativity, and individuality, the implementation of VR within the classroom has also shown drastic improvement of student mastery on learning objectives. As seen in the previously mentioned virtual playground, the results of the study suggested that the passive VR condition tended to foster a reflective process among the children, as well as greater enjoyment of the interaction with the robot, which in turn helped for better understanding of the material, opposed to teacher-based. As seen in the multiple studies, as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, classrooms have been transformed into fully remote. With this idea of it becoming the new norm, as a result of the new norms, students have higher mastery skills and grades. So this is going to be trending in the upward projection. One way that I could implement this in my classroom is creating a VR space where the students can interact with the material in a hands-on way without a teacher present. So peer-to-peer interaction within a virtual contained classroom where the students have access to my material. There's a lot of studies within this area of VR and how to use immersive technology within the classroom. However, it's important to remember that this is constantly evolving, constantly growing, and it's an emerging technology, so we are only beginning to scratch the surface.